About 5 years ago, I had a very bad day at work. It was my birthday, but sadly, nothing was going right. I remember thinking to myself, is this all there is to my life? It's not that I hated my job, I actually get a lot of fulfillment from it, but I felt stuck and I didn't feel like I owned my time. So I made a decision that day and I told myself something has to change. I then took some time to look into my expenses, and long story short, I was shocked to see how much money I had been spending. I remember telling my husband it's time to cut down on my spending. I don't think he took me seriously, but I'm glad to say things started to change for the better from around that time. One of the many questions I asked myself at that point was, can I have it all? And do I even want to have it all? Now, for some people, the answer is yes, but not many people can drive a Ferrari and a Lamborghini, have a closet full of Hermes Birkin bags, always dine in the finest restaurants, and still have an ever so promising retirement plan. I'm not afraid or ashamed to admit that I'm not one of those people. In fact, if you ask me, I think being honest with yourself and respecting your own budget is a superpower in and of itself. The truth is, I'm an average person with a day job. While I do have a craving for nice things, I also recognize I need to keep my priorities in check. Put simply, I can either look really shiny on the outside but secretly worry about my future, or I can have a smaller collection but still look reasonably put together. For me, the choice is obvious because nothing feels more comforting than knowing I don't have to overextend myself just to impress other people. So, no, I can't have it all. But the good news is, quite often, you don't need to have it all to live a happy life. To tell you guys the truth, I did go through a period where I really contemplated about if I should just sell all my designer things and live very frugally and minimally. But then I decided I didn't have to push myself to the other extreme. I think as long as you know what your priorities are and you don't lose focus, the rest will take care of itself. So, for example, my priority is to have freedom and options, but at the same time, I also want to have a few nice things such as bags and jewelry. Now, we are all built differently, so it's only normal we all want different things in life. For some people, they might see zero value in building a timeless closet, but not me. I feel like when I look polished, I feel good about myself. That said, I'm certainly not ready to spend my life savings on looking good. This is why I decided luxury minimalism is the best way for me, because this approach means I can enjoy nice things in moderation without having to sacrifice my priorities or compromise my future. I also want to point out that being intentional shouldn't just apply to the bigger purchases, such as buying a house, a car, or luxury handbags. It really should extend to the smaller expenses as well, because even though it might not feel like it, everything does add up. And sometimes it's the smaller spendings that make the biggest difference. A while ago, I read a book, and the author says something along the line of, most people would happily spend $10 on a fancy coffee or a cocktail without thinking twice, but they wouldn't spend the same trivial money on a book that could potentially change their lives. This came too close to home. In fact, I felt like it was describing me. Now, I'm very fortunate that for the most part of my working career, I've always made a healthy living, but I wasn't always good with money. Just to give you a bit of context, I would casually spend £40 on parking, £20 on coffee, £100 on eating out, and quite a lot more on shopping just in one single day whenever I was out in town. In a way, I thought I was living the high life because I was doing all the things I couldn't afford to do when I was younger. But looking back, a lot of that hard-earned money wasn't spent on myself. Sure, I was buying really expensive handbags and jewelry, But I hardly spend anything on self-care, learning, experiencing new things, or my own well-being. Now, again, like I said before, I'm not anti shopping. I think shopping is fine and buying nice things is okay as long as it's an act of intentionality and not buying things just for the sake of buying. Now, regardless of your budget, investing in yourself should always be the priority because the return will always be worth it. For example, if I had read more books, I would have started investing earlier. I would have changed my perspectives on life, and I most likely wouldn't have taken myself quite as seriously. Similarly, if I had spent more time exploring my passions, I would have been so much happier. You know, it's so true when people say a few good decisions can quite potentially change the trajectory of your life completely. For me, one of those decisions is being open to learning and taking classes on Skillshare. On that note, I want to thank Skillshare for sponsoring this video. I continue to work with them because I really like the company and what they do. Here's the thing, there's a million and one things you can try, but if you want to have an idea about what speaks to you, taking classes is essential in my opinion. Skillshare is an online learning community where you can learn about art, personal finance, freelancing, photography, setting up a business, and so much more. Around Christmas last year, I came across a class on Skillshare by Brooke Glaser, and this class reignited my love for drawing. I then started sketching and doodling for a while, and by Christmas time, I decided to invest in my iPad Pro. I find digital drawing really interesting and therapeutic. Whenever I feel stressed, this always helps to calm me down. If you're not too sure about what your passion is and you're looking for some inspirations, definitely check out the class by Holly Coy Murkison. This class is all about how to find your inner creativity, turn it into a side hustle, and maybe even a dream career one day. You can take this class absolutely for free by clicking the link down below because the first 1,000 people to use the link will get a free trial of Skillshare Premium membership for 1 month. Something else I came to realize in the last 5 years is that no one really cares. Now, this might come across as being indifferent, but I personally find comfort in knowing I don't have to fixate on what other people say or think. Sometimes I'll come across comments saying my wardrobe is boring or my outfits are uninteresting. Some people even have an opinion about how I look and speak. I'll be honest, at the beginning of my YouTube journey, I did feel the pressure to keep up to a certain image. At times, I even thought about unboxing something just to keep my videos exciting. However, when I took a step back and looked at the bigger picture, it dawned on me that how I shop wouldn't affect anyone else but myself. I mean, whether or not I have a very impressive luxury handbag collection makes no difference to other people, especially those who are too quick to leave negative comments whenever they see something they don't like. So, after some struggles, I decided nothing I do or not do will please absolutely everyone. So the best course of action is just to share my journey with you guys in a transparent and honest way. At the moment, I'm glad to say I'm at quite a different place compared to 5 years ago. Even though I now own less physically, I feel more abundant emotionally. I also notice I'm now able to find great pleasures from the simplest things in life, such as good movies, coffee, clean water, hot shower, a walk in the park, and so on. Most importantly, I don't feel stuck anymore like I did 4 years ago on my birthday. So I just cannot stress enough how important it is to spend less than you earn, invest in yourself and your future, shop responsibly, find a passion and not worry too much about what others think. That is the simple recipe for a happy life, and I only wish I knew earlier. Now, if you're feeling like you're stuck in a situation that you're not happy with, I hope this video will inspire you to find your own way out. If you find this useful, do like the video because it will help the video to reach more people. Until next week, take care and I will see you in the comment section.